What is up YouTube? It's Jacob here from the Rush Dimension, and today I'll be bringing you my $50 tournament Time Thief / Raid Raptor mix I threw together just for the purposes of the tournament. Rules of the tournament I will post a description as the previous ones we did upload, specifically $50 limit. These are the cards that you can throw together. The rarity does not matter as long as the cheapest version of the card is on the register, and then your total must be under $50. My total I believe was like 48, 47, around, give or take around there. And so the purpose of this video is to just showcase that you can build quite a nerve-wracking deck. I wouldn't exactly say competitive, but you can actually build competitive as well under $50 and still cause a lot of shit at your locals. So I went with Time Thieves, and I'll show you what I did and then go through some of the matchups as I get to the cards. So let's hop right into this. So just a quick one, we're going to go with the Time Thief cards first. 3 Regulator, best starter card of the deck, and the good news is that Ash Blossom was not in that type of format because it's too expensive, so you can actually get this card off 90% of the time. You have that odd character that actually got it right to fit in cards like Skullmeister that can cause problems with other cards in graveyard, but this resolved all the time. When I saw this card in my hand, I could shotgun this effect and it was beautiful. But the only thing I had to worry about was some guys could still fit in Veiler. I just didn't see Veilers at the time, so it was something. So the reason why I built the deck in this fashion was just to have enough extenders should I tribute this off and have a clear board, or not be able to tribute this off, then you can still extend past the hand traps that they throw. And maybe that is something that you can look at when building a competitive version of this deck. And next, obviously, 3 Time Thief Winder. This is your alternative starter. It searches any Time Thief card. So you can search for your extenders, you can search for the next combo piece, the missing piece, or even your counter traps, the Retrograde or Flyback, if that's how you prefer to play. And then just 2 of this was the more expensive card of the lot, so I could only fit in 2, but I think 2 is actually fine. I didn't want to see this in my opening hand, but when I did, it was okay, and you could still get the effect off because I played 3 startup, but we'll see that going into the spells just now. Then just 2 ships, the Bezel ship and the Chrono Quarter. Bezel ship overperformed when we played the tournament, having this set up in grave and then just keep flying it back in, overlaying, detaching, and just having that effect once per turn was awesome. The attach effect came up a lot as well, especially against certain matchups. Like I said, I'll get to that one in a moment. And the Chrono side was quarter was just specifically there. Should you have drawn the Bezel ship and not be able to get it in graveyard, then you can use the adjuster to mold this to the graveyard. So that was just the very basic Time Thief setup. 10 cards within a 40 card deck was brilliant. I saw more than enough starter cards every time, and if I did not, I still had a very acceptable board going into the players. Then going for the Raid Raptor cards, I just went with 2 Raiders Wing and 2 Singing Lanyards. The reason I went with only these is because I actually do not own the Strangle Lanyards. If I did, I would have rather had Strangle Lanyards in the deck as well, even though it being like I think it was a $2, just under $2 card, I would have been able to fit in 2 of them over like 2 of these, for example. But the thinking was I want to see this in my hand so that I can use the effect. And yeah, same with this. If you see this in your hand, you just search for the other one, and you can still special summon one of these off the Y-Strix further down the combo. But if you open one of these in your hand that is actually fine, you can still perform, you can still do things within towards your inboard. And next was just the 1 Heal Eagle. That is if you open both of them already and need to search for something off the 4-Strix, then I search for the Heal Eagle and then just summon that to the field and use it later on to be able to link into the Wide-Strix. Then for extenders, I played 3 Parallel Exceed. Normally I would not play Parallel Exceed, I would try and get other type of extenders, but this actually, with me knowing that you will not see a lot of Veilers or Ash Blossoms, I kind of went with this idea so that you just extend 4 days. If this is extra in your hand, you have an extra rank 4 on field or an extra link 2. and the choices was very strategic, and once again you can use the same thought process that I went with and just change the card choices up a bit and be able to build a very competitive deck. Next, for the extenders, I played the one Photon Thrasher. This can actually be Theo the Iron Punch from the Dogmatica lineup. I just thought going with Photon Thrasher because if there was a way that they could negate the effect of the Regulator, then I can at least special summon this. It's a big body and just leave it on field, or just keep extending afterwards with additional stuff, with additional cards that I did have. And this was actually very good. With the brick hands, if you see this, it's fine. There's a very big number that they have to try and punch over, and you just sit on this for a turn or two and to draw into the pieces that you need. It happened once, and every other game I was able to full combo with the way I structured the deck. And then, yes, I do play I'm rather not going to call it a Dragon Link package. It's more of a additional starter. So I used the quick launch just to add another body to the field for like either a starter or an extender, and I would have gone with double Tracer, but the thinking was just if you do have Tracer on the field, you don't have to use the effect if you don't want to lock yourself into dogs, but if you do, it's actually fine. I've plenty of dogs that can resolve under this effect. So it was just there so that you can resolve multiple. If you did draw multiple quick launches, you can resolve both, and you can actually resolve the effect of Tracer as well. I went with Magna Rocket over the normal Recharger because Recharger is actually more expensive than the Magna Rocket, and I just needed a vanilla that you can go with. I actually do not have any synchros in the extra deck, but going competitively, I think you should add at least one or two synchros that you can use for the Rocket Tracer to make the Rocket Tracer or the Rocket package a bit more viable. For me, it was literally just to get past your normal summon. If they stopped your normal summon, we can use these to continue. Next, I did play a singular Gamma and the driver to go with it, because there is a combo where you make the Lambda and you can actually search the Gamma off that. I just needed that to resolve once. I did not need it to resolve multiple times, and Gamma is hella expensive, and I was considering strongly to add something like, instead of Gamma, you add Epsilon in the side deck. I couldn't find my Epsilons, or Delta to negate spells, and Gamma came up once and unfortunately sided out most of the other games. I sided this out. It was an easy side out, obviously, because you don't want to draw it into the bricks, but this is like a single hand trap that, I did not play hand traps in this build. I did play some other type of workaround that we'll get to in a moment. So if you did see Gamma in your opening hand, then yes, you can Gamma, and with this type of budget type builds and a budget type tournament, a single Gamma could stop the entire play. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I did use Gamma once or twice within a combo section with Lambda on field. And them not knowing that you only play the one Gamma is actually a lot more nerve-wracking than you think. Triple startup, you can obviously drop this to 2. I just thought, damn, this is like one of the best type of extenders that you can go for. If you see this in your hand with Winder, you normal summon the Winder, you add whatever other card you need, and then you just summon it off this. So this was actually brilliant. And the second effect, where you can attach multiple things from the graveyard, it came up so much. As in, Redoer was the main reason why I won games, was because I could steal cards off the opponent's deck. I can put cards back and then steal them before you can use them again, and then having this way, being able to reload your Redoer or any other, the only 2 I played, but specifically Redoer was reloaded a lot with this. And then for the next one, triple quick launches. Obviously the commons, I just play the secrets because they look nice, and it is legal to play the higher rarity. So quick launch is, like I said, literally just extender. Nothing else was I didn't use it for any other purpose, but just to extend with one of the 2 dragons in the deck. And then for the nerve package, we did put in, I went with double Book of Moon, and I did play over the cosmic the Galaxy Cyclones. I did play Breakthrough skill just for going first, but this I ended up swapping it with Breakthroughs in the side, because Breakthrough was a more expensive card, and my thinking was that you'll be seeing a lot more battle traps. So having Galaxy Cyclone and being able to knock off a back row, one less card to deal with, and then being able to use the effect in grave, especially against decks that have a burn quality to it. So if I actually did play against a Time Lord burn deck, dot deck actually, and I used the second effect to destroy his wave motion cannon, and so I was very glad I swapped out these from the side to the main. And Book of Moon also overperforms, flipping cards over, even flipping cards on your side over so that your opponent can't target them was also brilliant. But this actually stopped so many players. You flip a card over and they can't continue was gorgeous. I actually wanted to play over these to save money. I wanted to play Book of Eclipse. I just couldn't get enough cards off the field for them to not get the draw effect, so I opted to go with Book of Moon instead. And next we have the single Time Thief hack. This is literally for if you're going second, you try and if you get past whatever negates or disruptions they have, and you can search this or get to this within your combo or whatever, and just activating this and then going off with your rank 4 spams, then it cannot be stopped, which was brilliant. And then using it on the crackback with Redoer, having additional damage and just stumping your opponent with that was actually pretty good. So this was mainly just a go second card. So I would use this to safeguard the XC plays that I go through in my own turn. And just to extend this in spell form, one instant fusion, because I run the one Mud Dragon. It can actually be any level 4 instant fusion target. Unfortunately, Ready Fusion is too expensive. In a more competitive version, I would go with 2 more Ready Fusions along with this, and the Reborn, because it was just an extender. I didn't really use this to take any of my opponent's monsters, except if it was a level 4 and I needed a level 4 on my side. Then I would use this to grab a level 4 from their side, just for the rank 4 plays. And then I could only find 2 Retrogrades. Unfortunately, I would have played the third, because the third one came up a lot, either attaching it from deck with your Perpetua, or actually just searching it off your the special summon of your Winder, having this as a follow-up card against your opponent. It came up so many times. They couldn't out this card at all, even though they added stuff like MST or back row hate. And then just the last one was the Time Thief flyback. This and Bezel Ship overperformed so much, being able to attach things to your Redoer and then just keep pushing cards off the field with Redoer was actually pretty good. Going into the extra deck, we play the double Force Tricks. Unfortunately, I did not play any of the other more Raid Raptor heavy cards like the Arsenal or Falcon or anything like that. My main purpose was just to fill up the graveyard with your Raider's Wing and with Bezel Ship essentially for the follow-up. So if you have both your ships and the Raiders Wing in graveyard, then your follow-up is just so much easier to OTK the opponents, and this actually allowed you to get those cards out of the deck, and then you just link these two off either for Lambda, or you link these two off for your Wise Tricks and continue playing from there. I played 2 Time Thief Redoers. I never used the second one. It was just there in case your opponent did get it off the field somehow. Then the second one was just to follow up, but in a more competitive build, one is actually fine. I did have double barrel in there, and startup makes double barrel a lot easier to play, but I had to cut it to save money in the budget version, and then ended up adding other stuff. I played the one Perpetua because you just need the one. If these two are on the field, they have an extremely hard time. This and the counter traps, so Raigekis was not a problem. Any form of board wipe was not a problem under these two, and if they did get over it, you just use the Redoer to get itself off the field, and then it will come back in the next turn. And then I did play the one Evil Swarm Nightmare because it is a dark. And again, the thinking was if you have a brick hand and you just summon this to the field and you're flipping over special summons, in a budget version, people have a very difficult time getting past just normal summon and 1 or 2 special summons. So if you're flipping both of those special summons, then you kind of stop the turn right there, and that was the idea behind the Nightmare. But this can obviously be anything else. I went into this quite a few times, and one of those few times I stopped plays completely. Alternatively, it could be something like it could be any link to that you need to get past your opponent's board. Alternatively, you can put Tornado Dragon in that slot. Abyss Dweller, brilliant. My first game was against a Shaddoll player. I do not know how he fit $50 into a Shaddoll deck, but I'm assuming it was pure. And making Abyss Dweller kind of it won me game 1, and it kind of stalled me in game 3, where unfortunately if he summoned Winder, I couldn't get past the Winder. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So I went with Abyss Dweller. It won me game 1, and we drew in game 2 because of Abyss Dweller. So that was a good one. And it also came up against a Dino player. I played against Yolanda. She played Dino. Her profile will be added up soon. And Abyss Dweller actually just kills the deck completely. And if she can't punch over this, then I just OTK after that. And speaking of OTK, the OTK package was Raiders Knight and Off, and very cheap cards, and it did its thing. You summon this on the follow-up, throw this on top, use the effect. At that point, there are so many monsters on board, you can just punch for game. And very good going for turn 3. This was it helped me quite a lot. So I didn't actually need the rank up spells, and went with this instead, and it worked like a bomb. So that's it for the Exceeds. Then going into the links, 1 Mystrix, 1 Lambda, 1 Phoenix in case you need to do some more back row removal, 1 Unicorn, same. So I used this mostly to remove either unaffected monsters. You can just shuffle back with this. Like the 1 Time Lord, I had to make this to get the Time Lord off the field. And you can use both of these to remove back row as well, because you're facing a lot of battle traps and you don't want to die because of the Mirror Force. And just for an additional boss monster, I went with a Zero Boros. Not really that good. I didn't use this once. I just sat on Redoer the whole time. The idea was, should I be able to get in like a very far grind game, 4 monsters on board, I can make this, and I should be able to use the effect to remove cards off the field, including itself. And then because of the large amount of banished cards that you get from Redoer or trying to set things onto Redoer, this should be a very big monster to get over. This can obviously also be Topologic Bomber Dragon, and but I went with this. It couldn't be either or because I couldn't fit in Boral Sword, unfortunately. And then just the last one was a Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Right, that is it for the links. So we're going into the side for the Merry Christmas package, Santa Claus. Brilliant, because Kaijus are too expensive for a $50 deck, unfortunately. Santa Claus actually went up in price. I wonder if it had something to do with the season. So I went with Santa Claus just because you can actually use this multiple times if you see multiples in your hand. And the thinking was you don't actually need Kaijus for a Kaiju purpose. You won't have a big board to deal with. So if you are able to use this to remove the 1 big monster or the 1 negate that they had, then you kind of, it's very easy after that. And then just Pancratops for the same reasoning, special this and then pop off that what you need popped off. For the spells, we went with MSTs, and we went with Dark Holes just for if there was a lot of back row, and there was a lot of back row. So this was brilliant sided in this most of the times. Dark Holes for the players who have big boards like Yolanda's Dinos. I had to result to adding in Dark Holes, and Regulator for the same purpose. Mind Control just to grab more level 4s if you need level 4s on your play, or just to get hold of a card that is a problem on their side, to put it on your side to be able to link it off or anything else like that. And then just for the few traps that I did have was the Breakthrough Skill and the 1 Red Reboot. Breakthrough Skill is going first if you need more Monster Negate, and Red Reboot just to get rid of more trap cards. So I decided most of the time was the MSTs along with Red Reboot and the Pancratops. I would actually take out the Galaxy Cyclones most of the time because I needed more space for other things. So these were the cards that I would have in the main deck. And that is it for the side. And I hope you enjoy the combo section. There was a lot of thinking that went into some of the combos that I did there. Unfortunately, there weren't too many combos, but maybe you can wrap your head around some of the thinking process that I did have. So please enjoy the combo section. it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video till the end. Please like, please subscribe, please comment if you do any other changes. Low budget 50, unfortunately. Hit me up in the comment section if you want a TCG player app list of what I used in the deck, so that you can see the exact list, and I can actually copy and paste that to the comment section if you'd like. And please subscribe if you already haven't, to see some more awesome content, and hopefully we can get more of these $50 tournaments down the line, and then we can do more profiles. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.